In Saturn's orbit is a moon that could possibly have life of its own. Let's look at Enceladus. In April 2017, NASA held a press conference that had the media world buzzing. That tends to happen every time NASA announces a press conference that could potentially include news about alien life. And while it's not time to roll out the red carpets for little green men just yet, the news was the most encouraging we've heard so far for the possibility of extraterrestrial life within our own solar system. The source of all the hubbub is Saturn's sixth largest moon, Enceladus. The thing that sets this moon apart from its fellow Saturnalian moons, and there are at least 52 others, is that it appears to have plenty of hydrogen bubbling up through an icy crust. And that might be a clue that conditions could be favorable for microbial life. The way the scientists learned this information was by flying a satellite through a plume generated by an eruption on Enceladus. And that's about as cool a sentence as I can ever hope to say on this show. Imagine directing a satellite to pass just 30 miles from the south pole of Enceladus, plunging into a plume ejected from the crust just so we can figure out what's in it. Science is so awesome! Okay, but how do we get to the conclusion that life might possibly exist there? We have to trace the logic. The hydrogen escapes along with icy water in eruptions along Enceladus' surface. That suggests that deep underneath the ice, there are hot spots that heat up the water until it bursts through the ice above it. Those hot spots could be similar to ones you'd find deep in the oceans here on Earth. These hot spots are hydrothermal vents. Back in 1977, scientists were surprised to discover life forms making these vents their home. At first glance, one would think the vents would be inhospitable to life. The water is superheated and food is seemingly scarce. But over time, we learned these creatures used chemosynthesis to take chemicals emitted from vents and turn them into energy. These creatures were microbes, tiny critters so small that you can't see an individual one without magnification. And that's what could be lurking under the surface of Enceladus. Among the favorite snacks of these chemosynthetic creatures is hydrogen, the same element detected in the eruptions on Enceladus. And so goes the reasoning, if microbial life can exist in hydrothermal vents here on Earth, and if hydrogen serves as an energy source for some of that microbial life, the same may be true for this moon of Saturn. In addition to hydrogen, the satellite Cassini detected a few other elements and molecules of interest on Enceladus. One of those is methane, a chemical compound that is often associated with life. The satellite also alerted us to the presence of nitrogen and oxygen in the erupting plume. Now, the scientists are quick to point out that we really don't know if life actually exists on Enceladus. In fact, some of this evidence might point in the other direction. The fact that Cassini found hydrogen could mean there's no microbial life on the moon, because if there were, it would have munched down on a tasty hydrogen buffet. In other words, Cassini shouldn't have detected so much hydrogen if there are lots of microbes there. And while hydrothermal vents remain the most likely explanation as to why there are eruptions in the first place, we can't be completely certain it's the real reason. Unless we send a spacecraft to Enceladus that can burrow under the ice and explore the seafloor, we're not likely to rule out other possible explanations entirely. Still, this is an exciting find, and it shows how we've got so much more to learn about our own solar system, let alone our own galaxy, let alone the universe. Personally, I'm excited about all that, and not just because it gives me job security. As for you guys, what do you think about this news? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks to Toyota for sponsoring this episode. If you enjoyed it, click on the like button to show your love. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join the forward-thinking think tank. See you in the future.